Hey everyone, it's Dale, and I want to show you what it's like to take a look around Google Analytics. And we're going to show you the power of Google Analytics and how it can, affect the strategy that it comes with the content on your site. Now, just a brief overview: Google Analytics is a free tool, and it tracks visitors and your website. So it tracks how they got to your website and it tracks what they do once they get to your website. So that's a ton of data that we can use to affect strategy moving forward. Now, I should mention anyone can use Google Analytics as long as they have a self-hosted site, meaning you have it up on a server somewhere. For the FDOM class, we're using a free WordPress hosted blog, so you won't be able to go in and put Google Analytics on your site. But if you take Webhub or you take another class moving forward and you do have a self-hosted site, you can easily put Google Analytics on there and get all this data. Again, it's free. You just have to sign up and put the code on your site and you'll start getting the data from Google. So let's walk you through what it looks like once you do get that information and that code installed on your self-hosted page. Again, this won't work on our free WordPress blogs. But the first thing to do is go to google.com/analytics. And this is the home page. And if I click right here on sign in, and I want to go ahead and click on analytics itself. So I'm already logged in to Google. And you can see we're now taking a look at the Masscom, the SJMC website, and the Google Analytics behind this. So just so you know, here's a look at the home page. Again, we're going to be analyzing what people do once they come to our homepage. A couple of things that we already know about our site in general. One, students use it for information. You come here for specific reasons. Two, you might be looking up specific things. So we'll be talking about our degree plans and things along those lines. You might be looking for our social media accounts. You might be looking for faculty bios, things along that. So heavily student oriented. We've taken great strides in making the site more visual over the past couple of years with fresh content. So lots of nice changes over the past couple of years with the SJMC site. So let's go into the analytics now, and I'm going to walk you through three main panels. So I'm going to walk you through this audience panel, the acquisition panel, and the behavior panel. And let's start first with the audience panel. And this is just a simple overview of who is visiting your website. So one thing you'll notice right here is the default setting is for the past week, and I want to change that. We obviously know that students come to our page for information, so it would make sense that we want to look at when students are in class. So let's take a look at the fall semester. And I'm going to start right there, and I'll go September 5th through December 31st of 2016. And that gives me a pretty good idea of what happened during the fall semester. So again, we're in this audience, and we're in the main overview. So now you can see what our numbers were like in terms of traffic. And if you'll notice, we have a lot of peaks and valleys, right? Well, that makes sense when you stop and think about it because our site doesn't get a ton of traffic on the weekends. So all these peaks are the weekdays and all the valleys are the weekends. That makes perfect sense when you stop and think about it. You can also get, just some pure data on here, which we're going to talk about some of this, but the number of users who have visited at least a page on your site, how many page views you got, the average number of pages that someone views when they go to your site, things along that. If I go down here and click on, let's just do demographics, we can get demographic information on your audience, so that's good. Interests, we don't really want to worry about that. Let's go to geo and click on location, and this will give us information of where our audience is coming from. So it makes total sense that the majority of our audience is from the United States. We would have problems if the majority of the audience was somewhere else, right? So we can click here and you'll see that, almost 90% of our traffic is from the United States. But then you can click on city and you can actually see that a big, 32% of our traffic is from San Marcos, which again makes total sense. But we also get a lot of traffic from the big cities around Texas, and that makes sense too, right? It might be incoming students or transfer students or their families who are looking for information. And you'll see that Round Rock also gets a huge number, and that's because there are students who go to our Round Rock campus. So that makes sense as well. If you click right here to technology, you can see which browser people use to view your site. So Chrome is number one, Safari is second. Probably tells you that you're getting a lot of people either using Macs on campus, which we know to be true, or using their phone perhaps down here with other Safari options. Firefox, and you can see Internet Explorer is fourth. I've mentioned Internet Explorer a couple times in class as being a problem for web designers. This is where you get to know if a ton of your people are coming from Internet Explorer. You need to make sure that your site works in Internet Explorer. And then if you click on mobile, here's where you can see how many people are viewing your site either on a desktop, on mobile, or on a tablet. So you can see almost 2/3 of our traffic came from desktop, about 1/3 on mobile, and then a negligible amount on tablet. So this is where our site needs to be mobile friendly, obviously, because 1/3 of our traffic is from mobile. And one last thing I want to click on right here is this behavior tab inside of the audience panel. And if you click new versus returning, you can see that more than 60% of our traffic is considered a new visitor. But one thing that we've learned over the years is that Google Analytics counts. Well, first, let me backtrack. That might not make sense, right? Because it's probably students who are continually checking the site for new information. So you might expect returning visitor to be higher up on that list, or at least get more than 38% of traffic. But one thing we've learned is that Google Analytics counts anytime someone uses a new computer to visit the site, it counts as a new visit. So even if the same person goes and uses the computer, their laptop, in class, and then they go down to a lab and use a computer there, and then they go to the library and use a computer there to visit our site, those count as 3 new visitors. So that number is a little bit misleading when it comes to actual information. So let's click on this acquisition tab here. And if I click on overview, now we're going to look at how our audience actually came to the site. And so you can see right here, there are 4 main ways that this happens. The first is organic search, meaning they went to Google or some other search engine and searched for you in some way and went to your site that way. Referral traffic is through links. So if there was a link on a page somewhere, or another department in the university linked to us, things along those lines. So that's referral traffic. Direct traffic is they typed in masscom.txstate.edu and went directly to the URL. And then social traffic is visits from social media. So you can see our numbers are much higher with organic search and those links on other pages than they are from direct or social.